the Bonza Mech kit from Vandy Vape and the Vaping Bogan. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this. This is the Bonza Mech kit from the Vaping Bogan and Vandy Vape. What is it? It's a 21700 mech mod. 21700 mech, brand new mech, is a Bonza Mech, which partners up with the Bonza RDA that Sam already brought out. Now this is the updated version of that. This is the 1.5 RDA. Made some very nice changes to this, some very cool little changes to this that have made a big difference. It was already an RDA that I absolutely loved, and they've just improved it even more. Really cool. So they updated 1.5 Bonza RDA in the kit with the mech. This is the mech. Two versions of this mech available. There's a black and copper version, which looks very cool. It's got a completely different finish, very rough, sort of like powder coated, powder painted finish on it. Really rough, really rugged looking thing. And then this, the stainless steel version that I have. Very cool mech. It's very short mech for a 21700 mech. It's got a very small switch that I'll show you down low. Very cool, very interesting switch. The switch allows you to use magnets or springs, which is cool. A completely adjustable throw, adjustable for battery rattle as well. It's a hybrid top cap. It's 27mm wide, but it tapers in, so it looks good with 26, 25 and 24mm RDAs. The Bonza is a 24mm RDA, of course. Dual coil RDA. So that is the mech. Let's get down low so you can have a proper look at it. I'll show you how it works. A few little things to point out about the switch as well, which may help you if you're getting one of these. And then we'll fly back up top for pros and cons, of which there are loads, but there are loads of subjective-y ones. So it just depends on your personal mech preference. So let's go down low, then we'll come up top. See you in a sec. Alright guys, here we are down low with the Bonza Mech kit from Vandy Vape and the Vaping Bogan. This is it down low. Very cool indeed. Let's very quickly have a look at the RDA. We're focusing on the mech today, but I'll give you a quick rundown of the RDA. So from the outside it doesn't look too different. The one big change cosmetically is the gold band along the bottom has been removed. But there's also some really nice changes to the actual overall thing. So the deck is pretty much the same. Really cool deck. You know how I feel about this mech. I think it's this RDA. I think it's absolutely superb. The differences now are, and I'll try and get close, there is now a step on the inside here that allows you to get it on and off the mod very easily. There's still a nice bit of room to maneuver that as well. So you can still, there's the gap, the groove there. So you can still adjust your airflow quite a lot, but it doesn't spin and spin now with that little step in there, which is great. The juice well's a tiny bit deeper, but essentially the deck is the same. The big change for me and the big improvement for me is with the airflow. Let's just get this cap off so you can see. The drip tips are the same as before, still cool. 810 tips, goon tips. The difference is this. There is now stepping here so that you can adjust your airflow, taking them off row by row. You can still do it the old way. You can still just slide this along and close it like that, line by line, but now you can do it horizontal line by horizontal line, and that is a really nice touch. The only slight thing on that is there's no single coil option anymore, but I never thought that was necessary anyway. So that is a huge improvement for me. I'm rocking mine kind of like a row and a bit, so that is what it looks like with just one row, and I'm kind of like that. So I've got a row and then a bit more of the second row, and I'm like that, and I'm loving it like that. The advantage of that is it means the air stays, you're closing down the air, but it stays right across the coil, and I think that is a really good improvement, and I really like that there's no gold base on it anymore. So that is that, and I really like that. I really like that. So that is the RDA. Comes with a squonk pin in the kit. It's a fantastic RDA. Check that one out. Really nice improvements, really nice upgrades. Okay, so the mech hybrid connection. There we go. So we've got a hybrid connection, Vaping Bogan signature there, and then manufactured by Vandy Vape. Hybrid top cap, guys. Battery safety, mech safety. If you don't know what a hybrid top cap is, this is not the mech for you. Please make sure at all times that your RDA has a nice protruding pin. Super important. That's what the hybrid thing is all about. So you've got this up here now. This is actually a 27mm wide RDA, but it tapers in. It's got this big tapering in, so it looks good with 25mm. It looks good with 24mm. And I think it actually looks quite good with 26mm. The way it tapers, the RDA just kind of sits on the taper. I actually think it looks quite good with 26mm RDAs as well. So there we go, but that's what's going on. The actual RDA that comes with is still 24, and it does look nice. Moving down, you've got this. Now this is an adjustable ring thing. Now they're going to have additional ones of these. Basically, when you take it out, I'll take the battery out as well for now. When you take it off, you know, you can just swap it. So you could swap it for another one. There's going to be other ones available. It also means that you can line it up with your RDA. So if you put it back together and your RDA is over here like this, you can spin this and then line them up perfectly. So that's the idea behind that. The one thing I will say about that is I do wish it was a bit firmer. I do wish it wasn't so easy to spin, because you can feel it spinning in your hand sometimes. But yeah, a thicker O-ring or 2 O-rings there would have sorted that. But not to worry, that's no big deal. In terms of the top cap, you've got your nice insulator in there. It's all very well protected, and that. Don't forget as well, there is 2 different colours of this. Is a black and copper one as well, which looks very good. It's got a completely different finish, so do make sure you check that out. This is the stainless one, of course. So that's the top section. That's the spinny ring thing, and then you've got this. So this is the bottom half. Again, you've got that insulator. You've got that silver positive pin in there. Now to get to the switch, what you do is you turn it out like this. It literally just unscrews out. Very interesting. So this is a solid piece, but this is your switch, and what this is doing obviously is you're pressing it like that. It's got 2 magnets in like that, and yeah, the switch just works like that. You're just pressing it down. Now there is wriggle room here, so obviously when you're putting it on here, you can actually choose how much you screw it in. So if you want it to protrude out more, you can do it like that, or you can keep going until it's quite flush. This is also a way that you can adjust for battery rattle as well. So if you put a new battery in that you've not tried in here before, a lot of 21700s are different sizes, so you know, this is a good thing. Put it in, leave it like that, put it in all together, and then just keep screwing it until there's no rattle and you can feel it making a nice connection. So that's the thinking behind that. Very clever, actually, in my opinion. So that is that. Now to actually get into the switch, you push this together and you unscrew this knurling. Now I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because what's going to happen is my magnet is going to go flying, and I'll knacker it. But what I recommend you doing is a link in the description to Sam's presentation video on this mech. He takes the switch fully apart. He puts the spring in as well. It does come with a spare spring and a spare magnet, so you can adjust it. The spring is a slightly less hard press. So if you get the mech and you decide that the press on the button is too hard for you, try the spring. But yeah, you push that together, you unscrew it, and it opens it up, and your magnets go flying and you break your mod. No, that's just me. That's just what happens to me, and that's why I'm not going to do it. The one last thing I want to say about the switch is there is some adjustment here. So you can turn this, slacken it off and tighten it. So if you find that it's not making a good connection, or you're getting a hot button or something like that, just pull this out and just tweak this. And as you can see, so that's only just going over the top now. If I back it off a bit, it's going way over the top now. And you can tweak how much that does that. So there you go. So it's coming over quite a bit now. So you can adjust and tweak how much that does protrude like that when you press it, so you can adjust the throw of the switch like that as well. Obviously how much you screw it in here adjusts slightly how it works as well. So get it like that, put your thing on like that, put your RDA back on your mech. Now the way this mech works, you can put the battery in either way. Just for the sake of this, I'm going to do it that way around, but you can put it down whichever way you like, it's your preference. Screw it in so it's nice and fairly tight there, not super tight but fairly tight, and then just screw your button back in to your preference. You can back it out a bit, screw it in like that until you're happy with how it looks and how it throws. So that's sticking out quite a bit, and that just change it. But if I go like this, I can screw it in a bit more, you know, so you can adjust how you like that to work. But yeah, it's working a treat like that. So there we go. And now what last thing I do, line it up. So you can line it up like that. There we go, we got little venting holes there, but that is essentially it. That is the Bonza Mech kit. Let's go up top for pros and cons. See you there. Okay guys, that was the Bonza Mech and RDA down low. Really, really cool. First of all, the RDA. I love the Bonza RDA. The Bonza RDA is my favourite dripping RDA to actually drip into. It's absolutely my favourite. It's super cloudy, super easy to build on, really deep juice well. I really think it's really good looking. The airflow is so smooth. So smooth on this RDA. I absolutely love the Bonza. The improvements they've made are excellent. I went through them down low. They've removed the bottom plate. They've made it so you can't spin and spin the top cap. They've made it so the airflow is now adjustable row by row as opposed to just vertically. And they've made the juice well a bit deeper as well. And there's no longer a single coil airflow, which it never needed anyway. Big improvement. Really liked the RDA anyway, and it's even better now. This and the Equitas are my two favourite dripping RDAs. It does come with a squonk pin. You can squonk with this Bonza 1.5 as well. And it squonks great. It squonks great. I absolutely love dripping into this. Big fat clouds. Love it. So the RDA, superb. Absolutely superb. Go and get one if you've not got one already. It really is that good. The mech. Now the mech is really nice and I'm really enjoying using it. But there are loads. Mech mods are so subjective in the way they work, the way they operate, the way the switch feels, the way the button feels. They're so subjective. So I'm just going to go through loads of things that you may or may not like. Okay, so first of all, the RDA is 27mm wide. That does mean that all the RDAs that are going to go on here are going to have this step. They're going to have this step. Now, because it's got the beveling on the edge of the step, most RDAs look really, really good. The Bonza looks great on it. That's only 24, but still looks good with this step because it curves in nicely. 25 looks good as well. 26, I think 26mm RDAs look good as well. If you check out Sam's presentation video in the link below, he does show it with loads of different RDAs on. Go and see what you think for yourself. I actually think because of the way it sits on the curve, the 26mm RDAs do look good on here, so there you go. But some people might not like that. Some people might have wanted it to be a straight tube all the way up from, you know, from RDA to tube, so that's something to point out. But I like it. I like what they've done. They've made it really versatile, so that is good in my opinion. Now it's got this twisty band thing, and I like the idea of it. You can swap them out with other ones if you get other ones. I've seen that there's a brass one, so you can switch that out, switch that in. I think there's going to be different designs on here as well. Now that's cool. That's a cool idea, and I like that, and I love that I can line it up with my RDA like that, so it looks all matchy and nice, and I really like that. But one thing I would say, again, this is just personal, I wish it wasn't so easy to move. For me, it's too easy to move. I wish it was on thicker O-rings and it was more of a thing, because sometimes I feel myself just turning it, take it out of my pocket or something like that. I just find myself turning it. I wish it was harder to turn, but a great idea nonetheless. In terms of the switch, now this again is so subjective. It's so subjective to say how you feel about the throw of a switch, how tight a press, how hard a press it is. it's actually quite a firm press, and it's actually quite a long throw. Now you can adjust all that, but even when you adjust it, it's still quite a long throw, and it's still quite a firm press. What I would say is, if you've got this and that's how you feel, or you're getting one of these, the spring, if you switch it to the spring, that is a softer press, that is a slightly softer press. So do try the spring out if you've got this and that's what you want. So yeah, so in terms of the switch, I'm alright with it. It's working nice for me. It doesn't feel too tight. The throw doesn't feel too long. So it's really hard to talk about, you know. Some people will tell you that this is too hard for them. Some people will tell you it's perfect. It's really, really tricky when talking about the switch. The one thing I will say about the button and the bottom of the mech in general is, I totally get the big taper on the top bit, but on the bottom, I think it'd been better if it had been flatter. It would have been more sturdy when it was sat down if it was a flatter base. Sometimes it just feels a little bit unsure when it's sat down. It's kind of a little wobble on it sometimes, and that's partly because it's got this very rounded edge and the button pops out a little bit. But again, you can adjust that. It's really tricky. For me, yeah, I think I would have preferred it to be a slightly flatter base, so when it was sat down, it felt really sturdy on your table. But again, so minor, so subjective, so that's a thing. I really like the way the switch operates. I really like that you can adjust the pin inside, and you can adjust how far it protrudes. I think that's a really good way of adjusting for battery rattle. There is some big difference in length between a lot of these 21700 batteries, so it's really good that they've got such a robust way of adjusting for battery rattle, so that's a really good thing. So that is all that. The sort of last thing that I will say is on the button. Now, this is the sort of thing you get asked in the comments of mech reviews, so I'll put this out there. In terms of where you can press this button, you can't press it on the right on the edge, but it's very forgiving if you're anywhere off the edge. So you can't just get right on the edge and just clip it a little bit there. That doesn't work. But if you go anywhere near the middle, it fires fine. So yeah, so I hope that answers that question. That's always a really tricky one, again, to answer. Yeah, so it's not a super forgiving switch in terms of where you press it, but it is pretty forgiving. You know, it's pretty easy to do. So that's that. The RDA, absolutely love the Bonza RDA. Love the improvements they've made on the 1.5. Love that they've called it a 1.5 as well. They haven't tried to cash in and say this is a V2. This is clearly an upgraded V1. So V1.5 is perfect, and it's such a great RDA. Absolutely love this RDA. Still use my V1 a lot. Really, really like it. The mech, now the mech for me is very, very, very good. I'm really enjoying the mech. I'm really liking it. Loads of little subjective things. You're going to have to watch it down low and decide for yourself. Loads of little subjective stuff. I do like the mech. This and the Dreamer are the two mechs I would recommend right now in the affordable scene. You know, the Dreamer and this Bonza Mech are the two I would definitely tell people to look at if they were in the market for an affordable mech mod. There we go. In terms of voltage drop and stuff, no clue. I don't have the tech to tell you about that sort of stuff. For me, I'm not noticing any massive voltage drop or anything like that. So I'll just throw that out there. Yeah, take a better man than me to tell you the exact voltage drop statistics. I can't tell you, but I can tell you that I'm not noticing any voltage drop that's like a problem. So there we go. Inside the kit you do get the tube, so you can use your different battery sizes, but if you've got one, I definitely recommend sticking a 21700 in here. You get that extra amp overhead on your battery, and you get a little bit extra battery life as well, dare I say. So there is that. As always, this is a mech mod. This is an unregulated device. There is some safety features built in, but there's nothing really to protect you from a hard short or anything like that. Please know what you're doing if you're getting this mech mod. Please observe battery safety with this mech mod. This is for advanced users only, so please know what you're doing. Check out videos about mech mods and battery safety before even thinking about getting a mech, so do bear that in mind. That's the last thing I'll leave you with. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you're getting one. Let me know if you've got one. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.